right now, the baseball appetite, Zay. And, Jim Schlossnagle, he's talking, he hired Troy Tulowitzki. We talked about that yesterday, but, I'm hearing there's a chance Jalen Flores returns as a draft eligible sophomore. Like maybe the odds are a little better for Jalen Flores to return than Jared Thomas, but Schlossnagle's going after some power arms in the portal. And, he's landed the Moffitt kid from LSU, who was a, 100-mile-an-hour thrower as a reliever. And yesterday they pick up Thomas Burns, who was the first freshman to start a season opener at Arizona State since 2010. And a guy they really feel has a ton of upside. And I know they're looking at a couple of lefties in the portal, and we'll see, if they can reel those arms in. And yeah, I'm hearing Max Ballou is staying. So any talk of Max Ballou, looking around, he's staying at Texas. So Schlossnagle and that staff, they're working it, and we'll have more. I think, we're kind of on commitment watch this week. Now, you do get the portal's supposed to close today for baseball, but if you have a coaching change, there's another 30 days from the time the coach leaves. So that would be first of last week. So another month, and there's a lot going on. So stay tuned. We'll keep you up to speed on that. And that's, it's exciting. I mean, it's rare when baseball recruiting is a hot topic. I mean, my man Dash Rip Rock, he wants more Longhorn baseball news. We will give it to you. I just gave you some right there, Dash. So hope you're paying attention, because that's Max Ballou coming back is big time.
Yeah, definitely big time getting back the Big 12 Player of the Year. And Schloss, be greedy. You know what I'm saying? That's a big reason why you left A&M in the first place, because the recruiting at Texas is different. You just got to stick your face out there. And Schlossnagle, I think he's hungry. He wants to get to work right off the bat. And, yeah, just by his coaching staff, a lot of other guys that are very hungry and do a good job. Why wouldn't you want to play for that? So it's an easy decision if Max Ballou wants to come back. Jalen Flores wants to come back. And now you have your whole range of the litter of the rest of the nation that always wanted to come to Texas and may not have gotten that opportunity, and Schloss might see something in that player. So, hell yeah, it's an exciting time. And, man, with what the baseball is in the SEC, you better bring it.
I'd say 70-30 right now. Jalen Flores comes back. I'd say 40-60 right now on Jared Thomas. So, Jared's a lot of upside. We'll see. I mean, you can go into the draft and, you got to make sure you're getting good intel, because you don't want to leave money on the table. That's the key. So, but Schloss knows what he's looking at. He knows what baseball players look like. I like the staff he's got. I saw Michael Early interviewed. He took the Texas A&M baseball coaching job, and that's going to be interesting, Zay, because I'm sure Michael Early's super talented, but the expectations can be tough. I mean, Rodney Terry is in the exact same situation, and there are a bunch of Texas fans listening to us right now who are still, jury is out on Rodney Terry. And he won an NCAA tournament game, but you're going to get compared. Rodney Terry's going to get compared to Chris Beard. Chris Beard did not make the NCAA tournament. I get that, as a first-year coach at Ole Miss. But Michael Early's going to get compared to what Jim Schlossnagle's doing at Texas, and that's a lot. But A&M is shelling out money in NIL to keep the guys that they have. It looked, I think, if you poured truth serum down Jim Schlossnagle, he probably thought Jace Lavioletta, Graham, Verhoeven were coming, or Gavin Verhoeven. But hey, A&M's, they hired his assistant. They're trying to hold it together. And so the money they're saving on paying Schloss, and now paying Michael Early, they'll put towards NIL and trying to hold this thing together.
Well, I hope Michael knows that his athletic director could care less about him, because if he didn't give a damn about Jim Schlossnagle, he don't give a damn about you, Michael. So if you're trying to have Bluebell Park get renovated and shit, he already let Jim know them things ain't happening. We got to pay Jimbo off and then come talk to me. And that might take a little bit.
And that's the thing. I mean, I don't know Trev Alberts well. I don't. I met him at SEC meetings, seemed like a good guy. And he might be in a tough spot. He might be getting orders from someone like John Sharp, who announced his retirement yesterday. Coincidence that he announces he's going to retire on the same day that Texas enters the SEC? I think not. But if he is getting those directives, and Chris Bennett is calling him Trev Patterson because Steve Patterson came in as sort of a change agent, a guy who was going to make some cuts and try to get the athletic department lean and mean. That doesn't work in Texas. It doesn't. Texas is a right to work state. It's where entrepreneurs come to stake their claim. It always has been. Don't bring that, kind of, we gotta cut back, we gotta cut back attitude to Texas or Texas A&M, because the fans don't get it. They'll run you out. And I don't know what's going on with Trev Alberts. I don't know if this is his idea. I don't know if the regents, who are people like you and me, Zay. I mean, the regents are dentists and professionals who have to be stewards of the university. They have to try to make good economic decisions. Obviously, paying a coach $76.7 million to go away is going to put some, burrs in your saddle in terms of how you operate. And
a little dent in the pocket.
Yeah. I mean, so I'm watching this like everyone else. If Trev Alberts, he took a hit with what the comments that Jim Schlossnagle said in that Fort Worth Star Telegram interview over the weekend, where, before the regional, Texas was in that regional. Texas almost won that game against A&M. He says, are you frustrated? Yeah, I'm frustrated because we're not moving. We're supposed to be breaking ground June on the new Bluebell Park. You fired my sport administrator. And Trev allegedly said, well, if you're not happy, it's okay to move on. That's according to Schlossnagle. If there are Aggies who are listening to that with their 2 ears and not their I hate Texas ears, then this is going to start a little bit of a firestorm in the Aggie land, because they don't want to be seen as cutting back or trying to have to do it on the cheap when Texas is coming into the SEC.
Running it up.
They don't want
Making
that.
it rain. Getting Pitbull to perform. You know what I'm saying? That ain't a good look. That ain't a good look. So, it might be out of Trev's control. But I would have looked Jim.
But he's going to take the heat.
Oh, he's got to take the heat.
And John Sharp blamed the president when they hired that journalism professor who said she was going to teach inclusion and diversity. And then there was, lashback from the conservative, members at A&M, and Sharp blamed the freaking president. I mean, they don't support each other over there right now. And Sharp was the one who gave the green light on the 76.7 million. I mean, and he also, was the one who leaked the news in 21 to try to stop Texas from getting the votes to get into the SEC. And I think A&M is, I think the mainstream of A&M is tired of it. And so I think that's why you're seeing John Sharp. He's 73, for God's sake. So he's had a good run. He's been there since 2011. But yeah, Chris remembers this. His oops. So yeah,
ass out.
Oh yeah, because I was talking about how John Sharp was going after his own athletic director, who at the time was saying, studies show that public attendance at these football games are going down. The NFL's average size stadium is 75,000 seats. Do we really need to go to 104,000? And John Sharp was like, don't you ever, bring that stuff up in a meeting again. You'll be out of here so fast. And, he's calling it the house that Johnny built, not Johnny Manziel, Johnny Sharp. And he blackballed Rick Perry from having any influence at A&M. And the guy was the longest tenured governor in our history, and basically appointed the regents who gave Sharp the job. It was kind of a peace offering from Rick Perry to John Sharp, thinking, oh, this will be good. He's been mad since I beat him for lieutenant governor in 1998. Well, guess what? Sharp's like, oh, good, thanks. As soon as he got in office, he got rid of everyone who was loyal to Perry at A&M. And Perry's had very little influence at A&M since 2011, which is kind of amazing. So he's a fascinating guy, John Sharp. He is a ruthless politician. He runs things. He's the president at A&M, no matter who's in office. That's a fact. And even though he's the chancellor over the entire A&M system, which is, almost 10 schools. And, he wanted to get a law school to A&M. So they took over Texas Wesleyan's law school, and they have a law school, and they won some big federal contracts. And those are good things for A&M that will outlive him. And he can feel good about that. But he's also the fool who gave that plaque to Jimbo Fisher when he got hired and said, here's your national championship plaque, Jimbo, you fill in the date. And then approved the contract extension. You already gave him a 10-year deal at, record prices. And then you extend him after the COVID season when you go 9-1.
Yeah, that team should have won a national championship. Could have. And John Sharp's eyes. I mean, damn.